I think as I've gotten older, I've just kind of realized that the whole notion of control is kind of absurd. I think in a lot of ways, Painted Black came out of that because I had a pretty serious medical issue, and what that demonstrates is that you're not in control of anything.
How old are you when that happened, the stroke?
32.
And what happens? Like, do you blank out and pass out? Like, what happens when the stroke actually happens?
I'll tell you. Well, first of all, actually, I was having some symptoms leading up to it. I basically, I was like feeling weird. I got out of the gym and I was feeling weird and like really weird. And then I took a shower and drank a lot of water. I figured I was dehydrated. Like the first really hot day of the year. It was end of April, and I felt a little better after I drank 6 glasses of water and took a shower. But I realized something felt off, and I was trying to figure out what it was. And what I realized is that I was numb. The entire left side of my body was numb. Like literally, like if you drew a line down the midline, like straight down from the top of my head, down between my eyes, the middle of my nose, like everything on to the left of that was numb. Like I could feel like if you punched me or poked me, I could feel the pressure, but if you pinched, I couldn't feel the bite of it. Like I couldn't feel a needle or like a pinch. I could feel pressure. And that was weird. And I scheduled an appointment with a doctor. And then I was in a session and I started slurring my words. And, we have to take neuropsychology and physiology classes in grad school. And I just in the moment, I just put 2 and 2 together. I was like, okay, I'm numb down one side. That's neurological. And now I'm slurring words. And so I kind of knew something was, I kind of knew what was happening. And I literally got up. I said, I'm sorry, I'm feeling ill. And I excused myself. And I told the administrative support person to cancel the rest of my day and to reschedule the person I was with. And then I called campus security and I told them I needed to be taken to the hospital. And the only hospital they would take me to was the closest one, which is not a good hospital.
Yeah.
And one of my colleagues just said he would drive me down to Penn, which was maybe 15 minutes on the highway or whatever. That's the best hospital in the area. And which is funny because now I could walk into the street, lay down and roll downhill to the Penn emergency room. But but then, we were way up in North Philadelphia and I got in his car and he drove me. And I figured if I called an ambulance too, they'd take me to a hospital that I might not want to go to. So my colleague Robert's driving me to Penn. And I don't know if you remember from when you lived here, but there's a thing called Penn Relays, which is this big track and field event where every high school and college track team in the Eastern time zone comes to Penn for a week of competitions in their stadium. And so what I didn't realize, it was Penn Relays. So the exit for University of Pennsylvania Hospital was closed. And so he comes around to the next exit, and we come up around campus through the back side, and we just pull up into the main street, and we're 5 blocks from the emergency room, and the street is just clogged with buses from all these schools. And I'm sitting there, and this guy's in the passenger seat, and I'm watching the light go from red to green to red to green to red to green.
Oh.
And finally, I was just this. I literally remember thinking I'm going to die in the passenger seat in this car. So I just got up. I said, thanks for the ride. I got out of the car and walked the 5 blocks to the emergency room. Yeah. And so that's the story.
Wow. When you actually get in there, what happens? Do they have to do surgery? What?
No, but when you come in with those symptoms, they fast track you. You're just they're oh, you're going right back. No, I didn't need surgery. They had me up for an MRI pretty instantly though. And I was half expecting, on one hand, I knew what was happening because I knew the symptoms. But on the other hand, I was they're going to come back and tell me I'm overreacting and there's nothing there. But that was not the case.
That was not the case.
Yeah. So They said you're having a stroke. You had a stroke.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's intense. So it was after this that you decided you were going to get back into music, right?
Yeah. I got lucky. Like I didn't have any real permanent damage.
Yeah, that is lucky because I mean things happen a lot, right? I don't know, you can lose some feeling in your face, or you could like slow down or talk differently. There's a lot of different things that can happen,
I
right?
think my speech was affected a little bit. It's little, but not in any way that anybody else seems to notice.
I see.
I think it takes a little more effort to enunciate things really clearly and sharply. I was so grateful to be alive at the time. I don't think I really reckoned with that for a few years. Like really even noticed, like allowed myself to notice it.
How soon after this do you get Paint It Black started, and what inspired you, like what specifically inspired you to want to jump back into music?
I mean, gratitude, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it's like one of those cartoons when someone's been like shipwrecked or stranded at sea and they get back and they like literally kiss the ground.
Oh, right.
That's what Painted Black was.